Are you tired of boring domestic beer? Me too. That's why I've taken it upon myself to drive across this great nation to find the best brews around. I want to meet with any owner, brewer of any place that will open the door for us. No distance is too far. Our goal here is simple. I want to share their stories and their craft with the rest of the world. My name is Dustin Coffman. Welcome to The Craft. So today I find myself in Hampton, Virginia, and this strange bird behind me means that we're at the Oozlefinch Brewery. So let's meet the owner and see what they have to offer. So we're here with the owner to get the story of this strange bird and how they took this legend and made beer. So this is Russell.
Yeah.
Tell the people a little bit about your business and setup.
Awesome. Yeah, so we started Oozlefinch. Well, we started planning back in 2012. My wife and I were looking at starting a brewery. We started looking around Fort Monroe here, which is a great, it really is a great area that was kind of untapped at the time. And so we started looking around Fort Monroe. We started doing our research on the history of Fort Monroe and come to find that there was a story from 1905 with an Army captain named Captain Merriam that was in the Base Officers Club, which was part of the Casemate Museum. It's underneath the Casemate area, and he was drinking one night, drunk, went outside, saw this crazy bird that has a long neck, red bloodshot eyes, no eyelids, flies backwards at high speeds, and looks absolutely crazy. When we found out about this story, we checked for copyrights and trademarks, and there was nothing like that on there. And so we decided, what better name for a brewery here on Fort Monroe than a fun drinking story from 1905, and so we obtained the copyright and the trademark, and the rest is kind of history.
It's great to get an old drunken legend and make it a brewery. I like it.
Yeah.
Sweet. So tell us a little about it. A little bit about your setup, like how you got into beer. And
So I actually was a police officer before this.
Oh, wow.
I worked here in Newport News, close by, and I did that for quite a while. Ended up with undercover narcotics unit for quite a few years, and went through an experience there that I just did not think was something I'd ever want to go through again. And when something life-changing like that happens, it really pushes you to kind of consider your options. And so my wife and I, honestly, at the time, we kind of wanted to get away from that side or that aspect of police work, and so we started thinking about starting a business. The only other thing that I was really passionate about at the time, other than the police work, was brewing beer at home, and so it was a pretty simple decision after that to kind of push me out from just brewing beer at the house to making a move to start a production size brewery.
kind of like a little dream in the back of your head.
It was, yeah. Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, we literally it went from overnight, went from something that I thought was cool that I potentially wanted to do someday after my career was over to let's do this now. And so we dropped everything and started planning the brewery and obtained financing in 2015. Started signed a lease in 2015. Started to build out in 2016 and opened the doors late 2016.
Pretty good since you have 14 beers on tap now and you have even more going on, so it's good. Speaking of that, we were talking a little bit before, but you said barrels, you are a big sour fan. Can you talk a little bit about your barrel setup?
Yeah, so we have a very extensive sour program. It's something that we got into when our current brewer, Mike, came and joined us from DC. He understands the barrel process, he understands the bacteria strains that we use, and really understands how to manipulate those things to make swaths of beer. And so as soon as Mike got here, we started talking about a barrel program. We eventually started the barrel program on our first year anniversary when we opened the doors to the barrel program. Took our first barrel beer that we ever made and submitted it into the Virginia Craft Brewers Cup and won gold medal for that beer couple months ago for American Wild Ales. So we officially have the best American Wild Ales.
Nice.
And it was the first one he ever did, so that was kind of it was a good thing that we, more of a affirmation that we're doing the right thing, that we're actually doing some good stuff back here. And since then, I mean, the sour program really has opened a lot of doors for us. We're currently we just signed with a distributor out in Colorado that's going to bring our beer out there for the Great American Beer Festival this year. So we'll be taking part not only in the festival and an event that is paired around chefs and our beer, but we're also going to take part in a lot of tap takeover and stuff around Denver while we're there. So it's been amazing for us. We absolutely love it. This is our passion. This is the heart of Oozlefinch. It really is the sour program, and that's kind of where we plan and intend to put our focus for beyond the
Nice. That's a good thing. You make good beer. You got to get out to people. It seems
exactly.
You've done a good job with that.
Yeah.
You've got a good logo. Got a good, let's treat good people. So, wish you luck.
Thank you.
Anything else we haven't touched base on?
I mean, the only other thing that I can think of, going back to the sour stuff that I forgot to mention earlier, is more. We do a lot of live sours, which obviously everybody that does sours and barrels, it's a live sour product. But we are, as far as I know, and as far as I've heard here locally, we're one of the few breweries that utilize live bacteria in our goses and our Berliners and our golden ales. And so if we're doing a sour beer in the brewery, we do have sour tanks in there that we allow that beer to continue just doing its thing throughout the entire process. Most people kettle sour. They throw the bacteria into the kettle. They allow it to do what it needs to do over anywhere from a day to a couple days time. And then they boil it off and kill it. We actually, when we do a sour beer in the brewery, we pump beer into the fermenter and introduce our house culture, which makes it sour, or which starts the souring process at that point. And then from fermenter to tap, our beer has live sour bacteria in it. So it's something we're very proud of, something that not many folks are doing, and something that I believe my brewers are doing really well.
Nice. We were talking like a lot of people don't like to do sours because it is like a dangerous, thing. So
people think we're crazy, but we've invested in some very nice lab equipment that will tell us immediately if anything has been cross-contaminated or if our beers in any way, shape, or form are contaminated. We've, to this day, knock on wood, never had a contamination here in the brewery. So,
nice. Well, with that in mind, I'm a big sour fan, so let's go try some of this stuff out.
Let's do it.
See what we have. So after hearing about all this stuff, it's time to get down to my favorite part, the review. Let's get to tasting. So what do we have here, man?
All right, so out of the 14 beers that we have on tap, you told me to pick my favorites. I'll tell you what they are, and maybe a little bit more about them, and potentially why they're my favorite.
Yeah.
So the first one is number 2. That is Lady in White. It is our traditional style Hefeweizen. It is a beer that we have brewed countless times here at Oozlefinch. Over the course of the last 8 months or so, we've been making small, very small tweaks to it to just fine-tune it, make it perfect, and make it aligned with the style as per the current standards that BJCP is looking at.
I can easily see why this is a popular one. It's great light beer. This is for a beer that, like, if you take people here, people are like, I don't really like beer. I think this would be one the ladies would be big with, and this, Lady in White is a great name for it. And, man, everything. Just the aroma's good.
So Lady in White is actually a story. It's a ghost story from Fort Monroe, and so this was named after a ghost that lived inside the moat here. It was an officer's wife back in the day. That there's a couple stories going around about it, but eventually, because of her infidelity, she ended up dead, and she now haunts the fort. So that is Lady in White. She is a ghost that people talk about here on Fort Monroe. It is a little different from most Hefeweizens, in my opinion. If you get a traditional, well-made style Hef, you're going to get a lot of banana and a lot of clove flavors out of it. That's exactly what you get with ours. Hefeweizen currently has taken a turn for more of a citrusy kind of feel, and that's not to style. So we literally we took our old recipe that we had, which was great then. It had a lot of banana, a lot of clove, but we added, between the techniques that we used to get it there and the amount of body, and we didn't allow it to fully attenuate out, which left some residual sugars in there and added more body to the beer. So we're very proud of the end product. This is the first run of all the tweaks being made, and so we're insanely proud of it, and absolutely love this beer.
Nice. This is one you actually said you can get in cans now too, right?
You can, yeah. We canned about 2,000 cans of Lady in White last week, and they are for sale here at Oozlefinch and around the rest of the state.
I think that will do well. Tragic story turned into a great beer.
Exactly, amazing. Yeah.
What's next?
Next we have our Chesapeake Gray. So we have an assistant brewer here, Rachel Edwards, who is an insanely intelligent, smart person. She's got her degree in chemistry. She has a little bit of a microbiology background from school as well, and she does all of our QA lead, but she's also an assistant brewer. She recently has started making her own recipes and started working on recipe development. And this is the second year she's ever made, and it is absolutely phenomenal. She took some more new school style hops, which
they definitely got the hops on.
Yeah.
Smelled it.
So she took some new school
Solid
style
IPAs.
hops. Yeah, new school style hops. I think it was Galaxy and Motueka, and she made a solid West Coast IPA with it, or a West Coast DIPA. So it is actually a double IPA, and we love this beer. It's at 8.6% and goes down.
Strong backbone too. I like it. I'm not a huge IPA fan, but I would drink that. That's something I would drink on a hot summer day, and especially I like the name Chesapeake Gray. Like I would take this to the beach and drink it.
I think between being a perfect blend of the two different worlds between West Coast and East Coast style,
and it doesn't kill you in the hop. It's not too much. It's not too much. It's like that perfect blend.
Exactly.
I'm not even halfway through this, and I'm like in love with this. I'm not gonna leave. I'm just gonna stay here and work.
I'm down.
We need bartender. What do we have? Number 4.
Number 4 is our Old Fogey Hazy IPA. Along with Lady in White, we also submitted this one to GABF competition that's coming up here. The Brewers Association officially created a style category for hazy beers, and this is the first year they're doing it. So word is they have 706 entries because it is the first year and everybody wants to be a part of a good thing. And so
that's really different from regular IPA.
This beer is one that should play more like juice. So when you
say it's kind of creamy. It's
when you look, when you smell, when you taste, everything about hazy IPAs should remind you of juice. And it should have an insanely pillowy, soft finish.
Yeah. Again, not too hoppy for like that. Even the smell, I don't even really smell too many like hops. Oh man.
Some of the things that we do differently with these is you still get the fruity and you still get the juice, but we do like to give a little bit more of an earthy tone by using a couple different hops that most people don't use in their hazy IPA. So instead of all fruit, you kind of get that fruit and earthy tone as you're drinking it. Honestly, it's the best hazy we've ever made. I am absolutely in love with this beer, and crossing our fingers, maybe it can get some recognition this year at GABF.
Yeah, good. I think it will do good. I'm a fan. Moving on.
5 is our Suns Up Norwegian Ale with tangerine. We started doing a Norwegian Ale
Definitely smell the tangerine
series.
Right off the bat.
Yeah. Started doing a Norwegian Ale series, which basically is we utilize a yeast called Kvike yeast, which is a yeast that's passed down from generation to generation in Norway. It's been passed down for ages. The cool thing about this yeast is it ferments up into the 90s and it likes those temperatures, and so we're able to extract a lot more of the fruit esters from the hops and from the yeast, and then pairing it with tangerine puree that we put in there. I think we're about 2 pounds per gallon of tangerine in this beer, and so you do get a really nice finish. One of the other things that we did differently, people are on the fruit kick. They're on the like straight juice is what they want. what we did is we took this, we gave them the straight juice that they wanted, but again, we put our twist on it of adding a little bit of that West Coast hop, and so you do get a slight bitterness out of this as well with the tangerine, and it just pairs perfect.
Now, is it considered kind of like a fruit beer or no?
It's not something many folks are doing that way. We just, you know, we always look at beers as we're making them on how are we going to make this our own, and how are we going to, you know, stand apart from everybody else.
Yeah.
And between Mike and Rachel, and their decision was more to let's give people a little bit of a hot kick with this, but as well give them what people are calling straight juice.
I think
it's very approachable.
With the mixture from, like, you know, fruit and beer, like, they knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Great. It's not like I wouldn't classify this as a fruity beer. It's still, you know, your man's beer,
right.
People want to say, with that tangerine after, it almost makes it almost like a sour. Like, yeah, it's delicious, man. I think
it's a great beer.
They worked really well to combine two different things, and I think the outcome's delicious.
So this next one is our Rip and Load Sour Lager.
I hear about this. See, this I'm excited because all I hear, even when we interview people, is you got your sour games on point. So
right.
this is actually this one just came out, right?
This one was just released yesterday. We basically
sour smell. I'm
yeah.
excited.
So we have our own house culture here at Oozlefinch. That is that we're the only ones that have, hopefully, unless other people have grabbed up some of our live sour beers and started using it themselves, which is not which is not unheard of. But yeah, so as far as we know, we're the only ones using our culture that my brewers created, and it is absolutely phenomenal. It drops the pH amazingly well and adds a little bit of some like lemony, almost like you squeezed a lemon into the glass. Is the taste that you would get.
It definitely has that fresh taste. So smooth, ridiculously smooth,
right.
And it's not like overbearing sour. Like this is, I think, would be a happy medium for people that are just getting their foot in the the door for, oh, do I like sour beers? But I guess one day, but yes, I do.
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
So this is one of the series that we've started where.
I smell this all day.
And I don't know if I actually explained this one. This is a sour lager that was made with sourdough bread from a local bakery.
One of the people that we interviewed was talking about how they love the bakery, so they love this one. They were trying the beer. They're excited.
Yeah. So the first kind of sour blend that we made, or sour beer, I guess, that we made that blended with a traditional style was we did a sour IPA. Phenomenal. We loved it. It's called Enamel and Haze. It was absolutely killer. The next one we made was a sour Kolsch. We took our Kolsch recipe. We blended in some of our sour culture, let it do its thing for a couple weeks, and we ended up with an absolutely amazing product. One of my personal favorites we've ever done. This one we did with another brewery that we get along with really well. It is, but we took the sourdough bread locally, ripped it into 1,000 little pieces, and threw it into the mash, and made a Helles lager that is soured. And so you do get some of the bready note from the sourdough bread, but you also get the Oozlefinch house culture, which gives you a nice lemony squeeze in there, and then you also can really not only taste, but it's obvious that it is a lager. So it's kind of the best of all worlds. I mean, I would think we took a Helles lager and combined it with, some type of kvass style with the Oozlefinch house culture is sour, and it is absolutely phenomenal. And I would say it's right up there with our New at Life, which was our sour Kolsch that we absolutely love.
For a new beer, I think this one would be great. I would drink this with dinner.
Yeah.
Put out the glass of wine like this. This is what you want to do. Eat your every meal with.
It's phenomenal.
And I bet you they're tearing apart the bread is a pain in the ass. So that's like labor. There's labor for this beer.
That's why we call it Rip and Loads, because we rip loads forever.
I never even got that, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So number 12 is the next one. This is our Southern Noli. It has guanabana in it. And guanabana is a fruit that is a South American fruit. It's kind of interesting to work with. It We weren't really sure what we're going to get out of it, but this is the most sour of sour that you get from us.
This is the definitely punch in the face sour, which I love. If you like sour candy, this is what you want.
Yeah, it is the enamel ripping sour, and probably this is a great example of what Oozlefinch sours are. It's just well made with the fruit, and our sour culture absolutely killed it and dropped the pH down to low threes.
I love this. This is delicious. Yeah. I love sours though. I see why you guys got that staple for sours.
Yeah.
Now, is the fruit, is that why it makes it so like?
The fruit has a slight tartness to it, but a majority of that is the house culture and how far we allowed it to actually drop down. And so the pH is really, really low on this one, and that's my preference. Between the brewers and the other staff members, we all have our preferences. For me, myself, I love this enamel ripping sour.
Yeah.
And so we take quite a few beers down into the low threes when it comes to pH.
Some beers have a lot of alcohol to get you drunk, some you want for the taste. This alone is for the taste. You would drink this because it's delicious. It's got that sour punch.
So the next one is another sour. This is on the flight that you're tasting now. This is the only barrel-aged sour that we have on tap right now.
Really?
Barrel aged sours are kind of where our heart is, and so we did an interview earlier, and you saw the barrels, and this is a mix of two different styles. We have Saison and a Kolsch blend in there, and we allowed the house culture to get at it. We also added a little bit of a Saison blend that had some Brettanomyces in there, so you're going to taste a little bit of barnyard funk on the back end. But we carbonated this one really low because we really wanted it to have like a wine-like effect or a wine-like feel in your mouth. And so when you drink this, you get the Oozlefinch house culture, you get the Brettanomyces on the back with that barnyard funk. You also get the two different, I'd say the Kolsch is probably a lot more dominant than the Saison flavor in that one, and it's just been absolutely an awesome beer for us. We love it, and it is exactly what our sour. It literally, this is our sour program. It is a prime example of everything that we're doing with our sour program now.
No, it's funny. I do a lot of these reviews. A lot of people are afraid of sours. This guy just threw out 3 sours here for me to try, and all of them are phenomenal. Like this one, it's got like I get the aftertaste. Kind of have like I don't want to say, maybe like a malty like aftertaste. It's really good. It's got the sour from the beginning, and it's a higher alcohol beer, which is awesome. So yeah, taste and everything alone. Like you guys know your stuff with sour, which is probably funny. That every person we talked about said like this place sours. They know what they're talking about. This guy knows what he's doing. I like it.
Which rolls us into the next one. I have my favorite sour I think we've done so far. This is Good Old Days. It is we bottled a lot of it, but it's a salted caramel apple gosa. And originally we didn't plan on bottling it, but after I tried it, it was one of those things that I just knew we had to put it in bottles. So I'll pour you some. And I'm going to pour me some because I absolutely love this beer.
Yes. Look at the beauty of that. That is beautiful.
So our goal was really to give you, we wanted this beer to take you back to the good old days of when you're walking a festival or when you were a kid and you went to, whether it's the circus, whether it's a festival, whatever it is, and you get a caramel apple, like that's what we were going for.
It even smells like fall. Like you get that.
My brewers killed it with the color. The color is dead on because you automatically, when you see it, you think apple. The apple juice that we use in there comes out really strong, really clear. We did use some harder to find type of brown sugar that's in there that we use to get the caramel flavors, and then of course the Oozlefinch house culture finishes it all off. But this is hands down one of my favorites of Oozlefinch. It's weird, it's crazy, and it's something nobody else has done, which is exactly what we shoot for on every beer.
That's what makes beer great, man. not do what everyone's doing different. So cheers.
Cheers.
Let's try it. Damn. I get the apple. I get the sour. The aftertaste gets caramel.
Yeah.
Caramel's
Yep. Exactly.
dude, that is solid.
This is my favorite bottle of beer so far.
I'm ready to carve pumpkins and like
Yeah.
play in the leaves now. Like good old days. I see it. It all comes together. Damn. It's one of my favorites. I will say it's one of my favorites. It's hard to even pick a favorite. Usually, I'm brutally honest when we do these things. Usually, I'm like, not my cup of tea, but dude, there's not one beer that you let me try that I haven't liked. I would drink each and every one of these. So
It's good to hear.
you guys know what you're doing.
I appreciate it. I have a great team. Honestly, I have 2 brewers, and they absolutely murder it. We have a cellarman that just started. He's been doing really well. We have my son here.
The future
is the face more than I am most of the time. And we have a great management team. We have great bartenders that are passionate. Not only did they love, not only did they love the brewery, but they love the vision. They love me, and they worked so hard because of that. And it is, we hire a lot of folks that care a lot about what's going on. And I think that's something we've learned as we've gone is if you want to be successful and you want to really just kill what you're passionate about, you've got to have a good team that really loves the idea, that loves the person, and loves the people involved, and just wants to share that with everybody. And I know you all met one of our bartenders up front, and all of them kill it.
every person we met, is a great person. Open, friendly, like great atmosphere. Like, straight from the door, like this is a place you can go, have a good time, no drama. Like
it's all part of the experience. And so, even though we have great beers, we have great people to back them up. So, I mean, if you're watching this and you've never been out here, I'd encourage you to come out, support these, support us, support the folks that work for me, and try some great beers.
It's all about the craft. You got to be passionate about it, and there's nothing these people aren't passionate. So, cheers, guys.
Cheers.